Hello everyone. Hope you all doing good. Please stay home and stay safe. And today we're going to see asset liability management in banks unit 2. Let's get into the video now. Before starting, first we have to know what is risk. The risk is the possibility that an outcome will not be easy as expected, specifically in reference to return on investment in finance. However, there are several different kinds of risk, including investment risk, market risk, inflation risk, business risk, liquidity risk, and more. So, after the risk, it is an uncertain events which we not expected, which we didn't expect it. Okay. The next one we're going to see types of risk. Under types of risk, the first one is business risk. Business risk mainly concern the risk which is happening within the organization. So that is a business risk. It means these types of risk are taken by business or enterprise themselves in order to maximize the shareholders' values and profits. For example, companies undertake high cost risk to to launch a new product, then they will get the higher sales, so that they are making the risk business risk. And the next type is non-business risk. It is a other than business. These types of risk are not under the control of the firms, which will not expected. Okay, so that arise out of the political, economical imbalances in terms of non-business. And then third one is financial risk. It is the term suggests is a financial that involves a financial loss to the firm. So it is a financial loss. This risk generally arises due to instability and losses in the financial market by the movement in stock prices, currencies, interest rates, and more. So next we're gonna see the types of financial risk. In the types of financial risk, the first one is macro, second one is micro. What is a macro? Which means large scale industries. Large scale industries or markets or a large scale business. Okay. So on a macro, large scale level, there are two main types of the risk. The first one is systematic, second one is unsystematic. Under systematic, it is a risk that cannot be reduced or predicted in any matter, which will not expect this, okay, which we cannot predict this. So it is almost impossible to predict or protect yourself against the types of risk. For example, you are the type of risk including an interest rate, so it will increases or decreases by the government legislation. So the smartest way to account for the risk is to simply acknowledge that this type of risk will occur and plan for an investment to be affected by it. So next, unsystematic is it is that specific to an asset's features and can usually be eliminated through the process that can be called diversification. So, for example, the type of risk include employee strike. So, if the strike continues to the 1 week, they will be in a risk of economic level. The companies will be in going loss. So, this type of risk or example for unsystematic. For example, now it's going COVID-19 lockdown phase. For this also the company is facing the economic risk unexpected system. So which we didn't expect. So they are making the unexpected risk in the organization. And the next one in microeconomics. Micro level means while the above risk types of the macro, which means systematic and unsystematic, which we already saw this macro. Under micro, it is a business level of small business scale. This type of risk that can important while talking about the valuation of the stock or bond. So under this first one is business risk. Under business, it is an uncertainty of income caused by a nature of a company's business, by the ratio of operating earnings. Operating earnings means the income flows and flows of the firm. Income flows and outflows or inflows. Though cash flow. Based on this operating earnings, it means a business risk. This means that the less certain you are about to income flows of a firm, the less certain income will flow back to you. So, how the income you have invested, how much the invested income means, they will get the less certain income will flow back to you. The sources of a business risk mainly arises from the company's products or services, or ownership product support, or industry environment, or market position and management quality. So, for example, this could be a rubbish company that typically would experience stable income and growth. Steel company. So, whereby sales and earnings fluctuating according to the need of steel products. So, this is typically would have higher business risk. And then second one we see the liquidity risk. Under liquidity, it is introduced by the secondary market for a company to meet its future short-term financial obligation. Liquidity means which we can transfer into money quick. It is a short term. So when an investor purchases a security, they expect that this at some future period they will be able to see this security at a profit and redeem this value as its capability to consume, so that we move to the asset allocation table. The liquidity risk of an investment is increases, that is liquidity risk. The third one is financial risk. Under this is a risk borne by equity holders, which refer share section. Due to the firm use of a debt, if the company raises the capital by borrowing money, it must be pay back. So once we borrow money, we should pay back. The company also have to pay back the money at the future data. So plus the financial charges which expected. If we borrow money, it will be cost interest, extra charge for a borrowing money. So this increases the degree of uncertainty about the company. It is because how enough money to pay back this amount at some time in the future. And the next one is financial risk. Financial risk which we already seen. And the next one is exchange rate risk, which means the returns for the investment acquired the foreign investment. I already said for a dollars. Okay, if you are exchanging money today, the dollar rate is, for example, 70 means the tomorrow it will be in a 70 or a 69 or a 72, which we cannot know. So once we planned, we should plan the transfer money, or we planned the exchange rate as per today. We have planned, we send the money and get the return back as a dollar, but the dollar is coming tomorrow only. Based on this, we will get the risk. If the dollar rate has decreased, we will be in exchange rate risk. This means exchange rate risk. So that the importance for the investor that have a large amount of overseas investment and wish to sell the convert their profit to their home currency. If exchange rate is high, even though the profit will be high. If the exchange rate is low, the profit is less. They won't get the profit amount, they won't get the original amount too. So that the differing country value, the investments value are different based on exchange rate risk. And next one is country risk. Country risk mainly called as termed political risk, because it is the risk of investing funds in another country. So another country, one country to another country, investing money. So this could devalue the investment and reduce its overall return. This type of risk is usually restricted to emerging for developing countries that do not have stable economic or political arenas. And then next we're going to see market risk. Under this, the fluctuations or volatility increases or decreases. The market value of price will increase or decrease the day by day. So this type of risk mainly applies to the both for stocks and options in the terms of perform well, increase or a decreasing marketing value. The next one we're going to see is Financial risk. Actually, the financial risk has more types. The first one, market. It's based on its main financial risk are four types: the market risk, credit risk, liquidity risk, and operational risk. This unit we wanna see this all risk. What are all the risk mean? So under market risk, it is first one is absolute, relative, directional, non-directional, basis, volatility. Under credit, credit event, sovereign risk, settlement risk, liquidity, asset liquidity, funding liquidity. For operational, this is also called non-financial risk. Okay, it is a fraud risk, people risk, model, and legal. So first one, we're gonna see liquidity risk. What is a liquidity? We already seen the short term risk, short term investment which we are getting, short term investment. So it is based on liquidity risk. So mainly liquidity risk means the company or a bank may be unable to meet their short term financial demands. So this usually occurs due to the inability to convert a security of hard assets. So this usually occurs due to inability to convert a security or hard assets which we cannot cash turn into cash. So cash without a loss of capital or income. So this is a liquidity. The liquidity in a bank's ability to meet its cash without sustaining unacceptable losses. So the liquidity risk refers to how a bank inability to meet its obligations threatens its financial position or existence. So this is a liquidity risk. Essentially, if an individual or a company is unable to pay off their short-term debts, so they are at liquidity risk. This is the meaning, and as a definition, it refers to a lack of marketability, lack of marketability of a security or assets which we cannot be sold or bought quickly enough to prevent or minimize a loss. So it is typically reflected in a large price movements or uncommonly wide bid ask spreads. Simply, liquidity risk is an expression and describes the possibility that an individual trader or a business may not able to convert its assets, which we cannot convert the assets into cash, meet its short-term financial obligation without giving up a capital and income in the processes. So this is the definition of liquidity risk. Next we know types of liquidity risk. What are the types of liquidity risk we already seen? The before the diagram. This is mainly two types. The first one is market liquidity risk. Second one is funding liquidity risk. So what is market means? Marketing. So it is the possibility that when you need to trade, the market liquidity is poor, making it difficult to buy or sell assets. For example, assume you own an expensive car. You need to sell it quickly. However, due to bad market conditions, you can't sell the car as you expected the amount. So you sold at a low and discounted price. In this case, the asset does have a value, but owning the temporary lack of buyers, this value cannot be realized. The second type is funding liquidity risk. It is means the possibility that when a company needs to pay off its bills, so if it needs to pay the bills means it may fail to do so on time due to lack of funding. They will not have fund. They are not having fund means they can't pay the liquidity funding. So for example, during the period of slowdown or a now shutdown, okay, the business may unexport the funding liquidity if its obligation down at the time or greater than our operating cash flows generated. So this is the types of liquidity risk. Next we're going to see how does liquidity risk work. So we already seen market liquidity means based on market. once what we expected is not going to happen. If we expect a good quality or a good risk, if the market value is going well, we will get the profit level. Based on a funding, the funding will be not in exposed way. So funding liquidity is an obligation due to the time greater than a operating cash flows. So under liquidity risk, first we're going to see how does liquidity risk works. So by this, liquidity risk generally arises when a business or an individual with immediate cash needs holds a valuable assets that it cannot be traded or sold at a market value due to a lack of buyers or due to an insufficient market, where it is difficult to bring a buyers and sellers together. For example, you consider 1 lakh, 1 lakh home with no payers. Okay, you have no buyers for a one home, cost 10 lakhs. So the home obviously has a value, but due to the market conditions at the time, there may be no interested buyers. In the better economic times, when the market conditions improve, you can demand the increase. The house may sell for well above the price. However, due to the homeowner's needs of the cash to meet a near-term financial demand, the owner may be unable to wait, have no other choice but to sell the house in a liquid market at a significant loss, hence the liquidity risk of holding the assets. The next we're going to see managing the liquidity risk. How we going to manage the liquidity risk? For a management of liquidity risk, it is mainly minimized risk, that is a group or a company will have not sufficient liquidity lines to meet its current and future financial obligations. So the liquidity can be generated internal and external, as is the figure below shown. See? Yes. So each source of liquidity has its own risk, which need to be assessed and managed. The first one is the management has the sources of three for internal and external. The first one, they have to releasing trapped cash. They have to release the trapped cash and concentrating the cash balances, how much cash balance they are having, and the working capital releasing by selling the shares and equities. So this is the three ways of internal. For an external way, loan finance, they have to give the loan finance, factoring to maintain the factory, and bond financing. If the bond is going financing, they have to maintain equity financing for a shares, assets in project finance they have to invest. So this is the trade finance, trade in which sell and buy. And the next which we're going to say is operational risk. And the next which we're going to say is operational risk. Meaning, what is operational risk? It means summarizes the uncertainties and hazards a company faces when it attempts to do its day-to-day business activities. So within a given field or a industry. So a type of business risk, it can result from breakdowns in internal procedures, people, system, as opposed to problems incurred from external forces. External forces means political, economic events inherent to the entire market and market segment, known as a systematic risk. So it means a operational risk. This can also be classified a variety of unsystematic. Yes, it is means non-financial risk. It is also called unsystematic or non-financial risk, which is unique to a specific company or industry. So next we're gonna see definition. Operational risk is the risk that includes errors because of the system, human intervention, incorrect data, or because of the other technical problems. So every firm or individual has to deal with such an operational risk in completing any task or a delivery. With firms, operational risk include system errors, human errors, improper management, quality issues, and other operation related to errors. So these are based on errors, some frauds, even mistakes and all. So in the case of individuals, we can drill it down to error because of the self process or other technical problems. So next we're going to see is types of liquidity risk. Under this, the first one is human error, technical error, gap in flow, uncontrollable events, and intentional frauds. The first one is human error. Human error means we can also refer to the fat finger input error, which means this type of error is the most common and the biggest task to the organization or individual. It may also relate to the skill issue of the processor. So this type of error involves when incorrect input is because of the human error. The reasons of incorrect input may be multiple, including incomplete information. For example, if we given a 20,000 amount, but unknown human entered 20,000 as a 2 lakhs. So it is a main error, human error. And including incomplete information means once he has to entry means he have to give the notes for the entry amounts which he has received or paid to the bank or a customers. Within all information he has to enter, but he just entered the amount itself means he can't give the notes, so it is incomplete knowledge, incomplete understanding, inconsistent processing, genuine input error, or a more. However, processing of such an error may affect the output seriously and may also lead to a loss too. Second one is technical error. Under this include system glitches. Means even though everything is perfect, there are sometimes system issues like a slowdown, connectivity, system crashes, incorrect calculations by applications, or an unknown missing bridge. Sometimes the output received may be off from actual expected result. So but because of technical unknown defects, it may be difficult to catch. The third one is gap in flow. It means information is missing from the source itself because the data lag or restrictions. In such cases, the output gets affected, the required output varies from the desired and may put the process at the risk. The next one is uncontrollable events, which means the effects from an external environment like political scenarios, weather changes, syndromes affecting living beings, outdated technology, which affect the performance and the quality of a processor and hence put the output at the risk. And then finally, intentional frauds. This means there have been cases where intentional conflicts of interest has arisen, resulting in an illegal profit to trade executors. Most of the organizations have a clause in their policies which the employees have to abide by for fighting against a conflict of interest and fraudulent practices, failing which they meet with extreme consequences. However, if such an event occurs, the firm has to bear monetary and deflamed losses, which are sometimes irrecoverable. Under operational risk, the next one is limitations. Limitations means the disadvantages of operational risk. The first one, effect created due to operational risk can be identified, assessed only after significant. After the loss only they can identify. So this is first limitation. Second one, once an error is noticed, it may or may not reversible and corrected, which they could not correct the reversible error. So even if it is can be reversed, there are chances of losses already incurred. So hence it is best to create a proper control checks at all steps of any process. Operational risk is inevitable in any all process or transaction. This is the one type of risk which is controllable in nature, however, not guaranteed to be limited. So even if all control checks are in place, there is a scope at various steps for such type of error. The best that can be done is have to a robust quality check process at the end of any type of the product processing. So means the risk of a change in a value caused the fact actual losses incurred for inadequate or failed internal processor, people, systems, or from external events including the legal risk different from the expected losses. So next we're going to see in operational risk is examples. The first example under this, ABC Corporation deals in providing financial services to the clients. They process their clients' credit ratings based on various parameters. In one case, the processor made an input error, which means Human error, I already told. So during which he has to put 10 lakhs instead of 1 lakh. He put a 10 lakh instead of 1 lakh. As a result, the client's credit rating changed to B to AA because he has to give the amount as a 10 lakh. But he should give the receipt is only for 1 lakh. But the client has to pay 10 lakhs as per the human error. So they gave a incorrect picture of the client credit worthiness in markets, and result is an overestimation of a debt. So because of a repayment capacity. So this is the first one example. The second example means it's a technical analysis who works on application of an organization. This organization department uses such application to the product to get the product output. So she created an application recently for the accounts department to create invoices. During the end of the month, actual cash flow was more than the full flowing into the application. Upon more investigation, the team finds out one of the account payable inputs were getting doubled after execution. This is a technical error that creates operational risk can be identified only upon considerable effect. So these are the examples of operational risk. The next one is understanding operation. How we can understand? Because this risk focus on how things are accomplished within an organization, not necessarily what is produced or inherent within an industry. These risks are often associated with active decisions relating to how the organization functions and what it prioritizes. So while the risks are not guaranteed to result in failure, lower production, higher overall cost, they are seen as higher or lower depending on various internal management decisions because it reflects man-made procedures and thinking processes. So this risk can be summarized as a human risk. It is the risk of business operation failing due to human error. So the operational risk falls into the category of a business risk. Other types of business risk include strategic risk, which is not operating according to the model or a plan, though, and compliance risk, which means not operating in accordance with the law and industry regulations. The next one we're going to see is operational risk versus financial risk. We already seen what is operation and what is financial. So now these are versus operation versus financial. So in a corporate context, financial risk refers possibility that a company's cash flow will prove inadequate to meet its obligations, that is a loan repayment other debts, although this inability could relate to result from the decisions made by management, so especially company finance professionals, as well as the performance of the company products. Financial risk is considered distinct from operational. It is most often related to the company's use of financial leverage and debt financing rather than the day-to-day efforts of making the company a profitable enterprise. For example, see this picture. Operational risk is a form of risk that involves system mistakes, human interference, inaccurate information in other technical. The same thing I already gave. Processor of a financial service providing corporation makes an error of 10 lakh dollar instead of 1 lakh. The same thing I already told for first example. Instead of 1 lakh, it has inputs in 10 lakh. So the client's rating from B to AA. So the clients will be in more debt as per the market ratings. So this is the operational risk. The next we're gonna see is credit risk. Credit risk means is the possibility of a loss resulting from a borrower failure to repay a loan or meet contractual obligations. So traditionally, it refers to the risk that is a lender may not receive the owned principal and interest, which results in an interruption of cash flows and increased cost for a collection. So these credit risk is a measure of the credit worthiness of a borrower. In calculating credit risk, lenders are the likelihood they will recover all of the principal and interest when making a loan. So borrowers considered to be a loan credit risk or charge lower interest rates. Lenders, investors and other counterparties consult ratings agencies to assess credit risk of doing business with companies. So this is the credit risk. Mainly credit risk means the possibility of losing a lender takes on due to the possibility of a borrower not paying back the loan. So means it can be measured by the 5C. Means 5 C's. It can be measured in a 5 C's. The first one C, credit history. Second C, capacity to repay. Third, capital. Fourth, loans conditions. Fifth is associated collateral. So this is a posing higher credit risk, usually end up paying higher interest rate on loans. If the credit risk is higher, we have to pay extra loans too for the interest rates. If the loan is high, we have to pay the interest too high. So this is the credit risk. The next one is definition for a credit risk. Under this, credit risk means it's involved in making a loans and lenders are judging borrower's ability to pay back the debt. Mainly credit risk involves making a loans. Lenders are judging the borrowers that he can repay the debt. So a range of factors go in assessment of credit risk, including credit history, credit score, debt to income ratio, collateral. So this is the definition. The next which gonna see is understanding a credit risk. How we can understand? For example, when lenders offers mortgages, credit cards and other types of loans, there is a risk that borrower may not repay the loan. Similarly, if a company offers a credit to your customers, there is a risk that a customer may not pay the invoices. Then the company will suffer. So, credit risk also describes the risk that a bond issuer may fail to make a payment when requested, that an insurance company will be unable to pay the claim if the borrower will not pay the loan. So these are calculated based on a borrower's overall ability to repay a loan according to its original terms. To access a credit risk on a customer loan, lenders look at 5 C's. Same thing, already we have seen the 5C: credit risk, credit history, capacity repay, capital, loan condition, associated collateral. Or this is an if an investor credit considers buying a bond, they will often review the credit rating of the bond. If it has a low rating, B or C, the issuer has a high risk of default. If it has a high rating, AAA, AA, is considerable to be a safe investment. Because bond credit rating agencies such as Investor Service or Ratings evaluate the credit risk of thousands of corporate bond issuers and municipalities on ongoing basis. For example, a risk-averse investors may opt to buy a AAA rated municipal bond. In contrast, a risk-seeking investor may buy a bond with a lower rating in exchange for potentially higher returns. So this is the understanding of credit risk. The next one which we're going to see, credit risk versus interest rate risk. Means if there is a higher level of perceived credit risk, investors and lenders usually demand the higher rate of interest. Yes, if the credit risk is high, the payment of the risk also high. If the loan is high, we have to pay the interest, higher interest. So creditors may also choose to forgo the investment or a loan. For example, because a mortgage applicant with a superior credit rating and steady income is likely to be perceived as a low credit risk. She will receive a low interest rate on her mortgage. In contrast, if an applicant has a poor credit history, he may have to work with a subprime lender, a mortgage lender that offers loans with relatively high interest rates to high risk borrowers to obtain financing. Similarly, bond issuers with less than perfect ratings offer higher interest rates than bond issuers with perfect credit ratings. So the issuers will lower credit rating use high returns to entice investors to assume the risk associated with their offerings. To see examples, see this example, Mr. Tony. See, Mr. Tony, he wanna purchase a car for a 1,20,000. Okay, he wanna take loan in a bank for a 1 lakh. He has to pay 20% per annum, means interest. Okay, for 1 lakh 20% interest he has to pay. For risk management check, bank has to check the risk management. What is higher risk, lower risk means Tony's loan application may be rejected if he is not getting the money, if he's not getting the actual salary, which he cannot pay the 20 percentage of 1 lakh, he cannot pay the interest, means it is a higher risk, higher credit risk, so the bank is rejected Tony's loan application. Lower credit risk means if the bank get the approval, if the bank gave approval to Mr. Tony for the loan, it will allocate lower money. Yes, if Tony is getting the salary apted for his lifestyle, he can purchase the car. If the salary is okay, bank will examine his salary based on his he has to pay the interest. If it is okay, they will approve the loan. If the bank is not agree, the Tony's loan will be rejected. So this is the example for a credit risk. If the bank agreed it, it will be a lower credit risk, he has to pay. Okay, it will investigate. If the bank is not agree, it is a higher credit risk, means to Mr. Tony. Okay,